Everybody, I'm here in Breckenridge, Colorado with Gene and Susan. Gene turned 70 this weekend, so we're up here golfing, having a good time. It's 12,000 feet though. Breckenridge is 10, but he's way up on the mountain, man. They sell oxygen at the gas stations here, okay? Just so you know. So it's like it's high. The altitude is high. By the way, I got my bright orange EXP cup today. Good to see you. And my orange wrist. I'm feeling very EXP, baby. Good to see you guys. Okay, well, if you're ready to get this party started, I am. What I want to say is this. The right people in the world can change, the right people in the room can change the world. So I want you to put a meeting together. You and 3 other people, you and 2 other people, you and 5 other people, you and 50 other people. But set up a lunch, set up a breakfast, set up a dinner, set up a agent attraction boot camp in the mountains or at the lake or at a river. Rent an Airbnb for a night or two and invite in your favorite speaker. Invite them in to fly out. You'll get a speaker in there and do an agent attraction boot camp where you get to hang out and spend a chunk of time actually learning. So the right people in the room can change the world. Number 2, be vulnerable. Be vulnerable. People love authenticity. You can't fake authenticity. And they respect it. If everything's always perfect, nobody likes that. So share your failures in a proper way. And don't be afraid to tell someone that you went bankrupt 10 years ago, or you lost your home to foreclosure 5 years ago, or 25 years ago, or you've used to be an alcoholic, or you beat drugs, or whatever it is. Be vulnerable. You've all heard me talk about it. I went bankrupt in 1996 myself. Lost everything we owned in 2008, 9, and 10. Got thrown out of my house in 2010. That was 15 years ago. I had to go rent a house. It was EXP before I bought another house. It was EXP before I paid off all my tax debt. You don't have to be something you're not. Be real, right? Now you do it a positive way, like, not a negative way, but you know what I mean? Number 3, share your breakthroughs. Man, when you get a breakthrough, share it. Talk to everyone about it. Be excited. Teach other people. Help them with what you've learned. It's awesome. People ask Pace Morby. I think he's the most profound thing to hit real estate in 30 years. So Pace, why do you share exactly how to do it? He said, I have $1 billion worth of assets now. That's like 1/10 of 1/10 of 1/10 of a percent of what's out there. There's trillions of dollars in the marketplace. There is enough for all of you. You should be studying Pace Morby, watching his videos, and picking up, even if it's a little condo, a little whatever, and you can totally start small till you have the courage to do more. But the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. If all you have the courage is to buy a little condo with seller finance, then do it. A friend of mine just bought $1 million house back east for 20,000 down. 20, what is that? It's 2% down, right? 2% down. That's not much, and the seller, and their interest rate was like 5.2, and did seller finance on the deal. And he took over the mortgage, and they were going to lose it to foreclosure. They said, here, take it over, give us 20 grand, we're out of here. And so you got a great house for $1 million house. If you went to a bank, it'd be $250,000 down. So there's ways to do this stuff. Number 4, it's the one conversation on every trip that is priceless. It's the one conversation on every trip that is priceless. But you got to be looking for it. You got to be looking for it like gold and diamonds and silver. And you go, aha, this is why I came to San Diego. This is why I came to Tahoe. This is why I came to Charlotte. This is why I went to Miami XPCon. And it's the person you meet when you weren't expecting to meet them, but you're in the gym, you're at breakfast, they walk over to your table, and you got to ask, I don't want to bother them. That's actually a really prideful thing to say. You're not humble enough to ask. Asking for help, there's a needy way of doing things, and there's nothing. Hey, I'm in Seattle, you're in San Diego. We're not competing. What's your best way to get seller leads? What are you doing to hit it out of the park right now? You're killing it up in Toronto. What are you doing to sponsor agents? You just sponsored 20 agents in the last 3 months. What are you doing? And so, you can argue for your limitations, or you get to keep them. The choice is yours. And these are just mantras to live by. They're principles to live by. You tell your kids, if you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. I'm afraid. Okay, you'll be afraid. I don't have enough money. Okay, you're broke. I do this, but I'm not outgoing enough. Okay, I guess you'll never do it. You'll never be outgoing, and you'll never be where you want to be. And so you know what grown up, mature people do. They do it even if they feel like they're going to throw up, right? They do it in spite of it. So just keep that in mind. Number 5. Of course, this is something Tony Robbins, I'll just never forget it, early this year in the Zenith Business Club. He says, what was the defining difference that made people successful? Like the truly successful people. You look at Bill Gates and Elon Musk and all these different people, and he said it actually isn't intelligence, because there's rooms full of educated derelicts, as our colleges are producing. Educated derelicts. But he says it's not intelligence, it's hunger. The differentiator was hungry. What he noticed after the last 45, 50 years of talking to people, it gets down to how bad do you want it, and it's the struggle that gives you self-respect and credibility. So the cup you're praying that God takes away from you is the cup you actually need to drink of. When you're going, why God? He's going, yeah, this is why, because you're going to be so desperate, you're going to cry out to me. You're going to be so desperate, you're going to change. And so I love that. Number 6, high energy equals high performance. Write that down. High energy equals high performance. So get your energy up. Don't eat a bunch of carbs and sugars. Pound a cup of coffee if you need to, but mainly diet, exercise, energy. I was talking in my notes. I was hanging out with Jim Quick the other day. He said this. It's really good. He said, if I can find it, my notes, I have it right here. Oh, man, where did I put it?
It's in that Brent Gove Bible.
Yeah, my little Bible. Well, I'm not seeing it. He had it here earlier, but he said energy, it comes from, it's not something you have to go get. It's something that comes from within. I'll find it. I wrote it down, but anyways, we'll get back to that one. Okay, so we'll keep going. Number 7, here's what you got to do. Tony Robbins said this: you got to execute one thing at a high level. Like, I'm not great at a lot of things, but I'm really good at this. Or how about this one? Write this down. What is my superpower? Everyone's got one. Some people it's listening. Other people it's talking, right? Other people it's being empathetic. Other people it's taking action, take immediate action. It always freaks my wife out. I hear something, I take immediate action. Tony Robbins says, take immediate, massive action. Just go. And, some of you relate to that, some of you don't. Number 8, you can't fix what you won't face. You cannot fix what you won't face. I love that. Love that. Number 9, proximity will change your life. Be careful who you're hanging out with. It can change your life for the bad. That's why we tell our kids, right? Hey, don't hang out with that group of kids. Don't hang out with that guy. Don't hang out with that girl. He's bad news. They're bad news, right? And I don't mean a snotty way, but it kind of matters who you hang out with. If you're hanging out with people who are negative and grumpy and always complaining about politics or this or that, and it's going to rub off on you. You'd be like, that's right, the doggone Democrats, the doggone Republicans, the Trump, that Biden, both sides of the fence, right? And so you got to protect what goes in, because if you're just constantly around negative, constantly watching the news, whether it's CNN or Fox News or MSNBC or ABC, you're constantly watching that. And you're like, why do I struggle? Because you're constantly filling your mind with garbage. They will bring out a bus went off a cliff with 40 kids in it. A plane crashed in Abu Dhabi. Before, you only kind of knew what happened here, but with the advent of satellites and instant, instantly what happens. So every horrific thing, the bad news sells. It sells, and you think the world's going to hell in a handbasket? That stuff's always been going on. And so what you focus on expands. So be careful what you allow into here. The Bible says the mind is the gateway to the heart. And so be careful what you allow in there. My kids, I'll give you an example. Two of my kids were going to watch a scary movie. One of my daughters like, oh, I love scary movies. They told me what movie it was. I look at them. We were in Tahoe at this beautiful place. I shook my hand. I go, don't do that. That is absolute garbage. It's fun. It makes me jump. I go, watch Raiders of the Lost Ark. That'll make you jump. Watch The Bourne Identity. Find other ways to be kind of get your little, but without such negative, I go, that's absolute garbage. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Like I remember watching Friday the 13th 40 years ago, scared the bejeebies out of me, And then I watched the first Halloween all time, that scary movie. And I wasn't a Christian. I was just, a beer drinking high school student. And I remember my sophomore year in high school, Del Campo High School, Sacramento, California. I stood up with like 20 other kids. Sophomore year after Halloween was over, I go, that was complete and utter total garbage. I'm just telling you right now, I looked at all of them. I said, I will never watch another piece of garbage film like this ever again the rest of my life. I'm upset right now. It was a slasher movie. If you know the Halloween movies, it's not funny and it's not okay. And I said, by the way, I never have ever again. I don't allow that filth. And I didn't know better, when you're, your freshman year in high school and your sophomore year, I just was cool. Everyone was doing it. But I remember standing up and being pissed. And I'm just like, this isn't good. This is bad. And so don't forget, you still got to do that. And so proximity will change your life, and also getting around the right people. That's why I've joined masterminds. I started with just forming my own. Hey, the three of us, let's get together. It's free. And then 10, and then I paid $500 a month to be a part of this, and $1,000 a month to be a part of that, and $10,000 a year to be a part of this mastermind, $25,000. Then I've hired coaches, and you keep kind of seesawing your way up in life so you can have a better faith, a better family, a better finances, a better, I pay consultants to look at my business from 50,000 feet and to show me where I'm blowing money and where I'm not investing properly and where we're not saving properly. And I pay thousands of dollars every month. I probably spend $30,000 a month now on that stuff. And you're like, oh, that's crazy. I go, no, it's not. It's be like you spending 300. But I don't mean that in a braggadocious way. I used to spend nothing to get help from people at church. But the more you're blessed with, the more you need help. I'm humble enough to go, I need help. I'm not an expert. I pay $6,000 a month now to a family office to show me, okay, here's everything you own in the world. Here's the percentage you are. And right now I'm 44% in real estate. It's way too heavy. And I always promised I'd never do it again. And I'm doing it again because real estate's fun to me. It's exciting. But guess what? When I was all in real estate back in 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it wiped me out. When you're all in technology and the .com bomb, when all the people that are all in on tech, they lost everything. All in real estate, they lost everything. Yet have asset allocation. This stuff's boring, I know, but until you lose everything, and it kind of becomes a little less boring. You know what I mean? You got to spread it out and you got to learn how to do this. And I'm like, okay, we need to go a little bit more over here. And when we sell this property, instead of buying another one, we're going to push it out because almost half of what I have is in real estate. Even now, I promised I'd never do it again. And I'm drifting back that way because to me, real estate's sexy. It's fun. It's great. And I'll be heavy. I'll probably be the heaviest in real estate because I'm such a believer in it. But with fixed rates, and it'll be done differently. Number 10, major decisions are made at major events. Come to Miami, get around people, stalk the speakers on stage. You stay at the Lowe's Hotel. By the way, it's sold out. We tried so hard to get one more room, but don't stay at an Airbnb because the speakers aren't at your Airbnb. They're, Glenn Sanford isn't there. Amy Weaver, a vice president, one of the speakers on stage, they're not at your Airbnb. So when you get the chance, like in Cabo, you can get an Airbnb in March, stay at the Hyatt Ziva Because when you're having breakfast, then Glenn Samper comes sits down at your table, or you're out at the pool and there's Leo Pareja, our CEO of our company, or maybe you're out marlin fishing and on your boat walks Jay Kinder or Tina Cole, and they're marlin fishing too. So you spend the day marlin fishing with Jay Kinder or Tina Cole or Veronica Figueroa or Gogo Benke or Casey Jiha or whoever you like, right? And those opportunities happen because you're staying at the headquarter hotel. So remember that. Number E, and major decisions are made at major events. You like something will snap and go, next year I'm speaking on that stage. And you go do the work. Number 11, I love this one. This actually came from Jim Quick. Information with emotion is unforgettable. I'll say it again, like, I'm so embarrassed I cried, or I was just angry. And there's bad anger and there's good anger. Good anger is when you're mad at yourself. Like, I should have done more than I could. Next time that won't happen. Good, that's good. There's bad anger where you beat yourself up or you beat other people up. That's kind of a bad anger. There's a good kind of I hate to use the word, it sounds weird to me, but I'll use it, righteous anger. We all know people who get angry and they're hot heads. That's not a good kind of anger. I'm not talking about that where you end up doing road rage or screaming at someone in aisle number 17 of the grocery store, right? That's not the kind of anger I'm talking about. It's the kind of anger where you're, man, I've had enough. I'm going to do this thing. And then, another one is, here's the quote. I actually wrote it over here. You don't have energy, you generate energy. It comes out. You don't shoot it. You don't inject it. You don't smoke it. You don't drink it. You don't snort it. Energy is something that comes from within and goes out. And people are attracted to people with energy. There's something about her. There's something about him, and they're going somewhere, and they're like, "Hey, come with me. We're barbecuing Friday night, hot dogs and hamburgers at my house." Well, my house isn't that nice. Well, then maybe go to Kathy Downs' house, or maybe go to Tammy Cook's house, or David Gurwell's house in Hilton Head. There was times where I didn't have a nice house, but I had friends who I go, "Hey, can we get everyone together and barbecue Friday night? I'll get some hot dogs, ballpark hot dogs." You don't need filet mignon and lobster and crab. I mean, if you can afford that and you want to do something sweet and do something fun, it's Easter, fine. But quit telling me you can't afford to do it. You can do it with your stager, do it with your photographer. Tell your photographer, let's get some people together. And then you could split costs, maybe stage your photographer and your home inspector. And the bill's $500, but you divide it by 4. Now it's $125 each. So again, I want to keep it really simple, simple scales, fancy fails. Don't like, I can't. You know what I believe? I believe that you can't. Right? I can. You know what I believe? I believe that you can. Henry Ford said, if you think you can, you probably can. If you think you can't, you probably won't. Right? A man or a woman's about as happy as they make up their mind to be. And we all say to our kids and people who know, man, you got to have a better attitude. You got to respond well. Something happened yesterday. I don't remember exactly what it is. Oh, I do. I lost the presidential suite for Miami. The hotel's remodeling it. Now they're trying to get it done. We found out yesterday. Nope. I got all kinds of events planned and things happening. Now I could get really mad at the hotel, but I'm like, what do? When the stuff hits the fan, we smile big and we roll with it, baby. That's responding well. Me being all mad at the Lowe's Hotel, they're remodeling the president's suite. I have it booked, and oh my gosh, the problems. This is going to get the problems. It's so this happens with your sellers, and it happens with your buyers. And guess what? Sometimes you go to list a home and someone listed it that morning. Sometimes you go to show people property and they go, we bought a home last night. You're like, I bet it happened. It's a rite of passage. You call them up. Hey, let's get together. Oh, I'm sorry. We couldn't find it out. We listed the home 2 weeks ago. It's actually sold in escrow. We're halfway to Montana. Oh, that's great. That's so great. We've all had that with buyers, sellers, and it will happen with agent attractions. Somebody will sponsor someone you've been working on for a year or 2 or 3. It's like you can get mad or you can go, what can I learn from this? The winner says, what can I learn from this? You're never losing if you're learning. Learning's good. It's okay to lose. You guys need to actually, we're not winning more. You're not losing enough. The more you lose, the more you win, because you learn from losing, unless you're not learning. How do you not learn? You get pissed that Coldwell Banker stole your listing. How do you learn? You tell your sellers, okay, I'm so excited for you. I'm going to work hard to bring a buyer on this $5 million listing. And inside you're going, you're like, I thought I had this one sewed up, man. I can't believe I didn't get it. But you also say, hey, can I just ask you a question? This is how I provide for my family. And I really want to learn, what could I have done differently? And they will glad hear you. Oh, no, you were great, Jill, Bob, you were great, Brent. I've had people do, no. I go, no, seriously. I mean, if I was that great, you would have picked me. They go, no, you really were. You were our second choice. We interviewed 3 companies, 5 companies. But I said, okay, but I'm more interested. What was it that Compass agent did? What was it that EXP agent did? What was it that Remax agent did that I didn't do? Like, I want to get better. This is how I provide for my family. And I'm excited. I'm going to bring a buyer. I'm super excited. You don't want to feel bad, but you want them to tell you. And they will tell you, they go, well, check out this listing presentation. And you look at it, you're like, holy Toledo. I need to up my listing. My branding sucks. My marketing sucks. And you go, okay, how can I fix it? And I don't know how I can fix it. So you go, Tony King, hey, you know how to fix it? Kathy Dowd, do you know how to fix it? Brent Gove, do you know how to fix it? I don't know how to fix it. Jake, oh yeah, here's how you fix it. It's got to humble yourself and ask people, how do I fix my social media presence? I'm invested in a company with millions of dollars, millions of, not all my money, but there's millions and millions been invested. I have hundreds of thousands of dollars in. They have 400 followers on Instagram, which is unforgivable. My daughter, who hasn't messed with her thing in 2 years and created this little Instagram, has 900 followers. And I pointed that out, and I've never really paid attention to it. It was something I invested in years ago and forgot about. And I think it has a high upside, but I'm like, are you kidding me? And they go, your Instagram game needs to improve, right? And so, but you can improve these things. Who could teach me about TikTok? Who could teach me about Instagram? Who could teach me about, long form video, and do it. Be a doer. The Bible says be a doer of the word, not just a hearer of the word. Same thing when you hear Tony Robbins or John Maxwell or Brendan Bouchard or whoever speak, man, take action. Like, you should be all taking notes right now and go, okay, what can I apply? Teach these notes, and it gets into you. Then I can't tell you how many times I've said, take massive action. And I take it all the time. Take instant massive action. My wife's like, you are so fast. I go, yeah, why wait? Oh yeah, I'll get to that tomorrow. Tomorrow may never come. And so I'll say that. Number 13. In the beginning, you make your habits. In the end, your habits make you. I'll say it again. In the beginning, you make your habits. In the end, then your habits make you. So make your habits, man. Again, you get the big 5: family, faith, fitness, finance, and fun. What are you doing to have fun? That one always gets kicked to the bucket. What do you do in the area of faith? Are you applying yourself? I ran really hard this last week, and I got to be honest with you, I have the Bible app on my phone, and I have not read it. And I need to take action there, and I will. I know, Kathy Dowd, I know. And so I am not perfect, and nobody else is perfect. And so you can be honest, and I can feel it in my spirit. I need to get in the word, and that's important to me. So take action. Jim Quickie said this. If you don't know who he is, he had brain damage. They called him stupid, slow, dumb. They had him in the small yellow bus. He hit his head as like a 3-year-old. They said he'll never be normal. He's now considered the most intelligent man in the world. But he studied the brain. He studied, how to speed read. And he's just an incredible guy. But he said, let your learning lead to action, the tiniest step. I'll say it again. Let your learning lead to action. Don't be an educated derelict. Let your learning lead to action, even if it's the tiniest step. Take one step forward. Be brave and text someone and say, I need to meet with you about Instagram. I need to meet with you about long form video. I need to meet with you about AI. Just send a text. That's a tiny little step. And now you did it. They're going to respond back, okay, when we meeting, right? So take action. I love what Jordan Peterson said. This is from my Jordan Peterson notes. He says, are you a faithful scout of the future? I'll say it again. Are you a faithful scout of the future? Where's the silver lining? And it came to pass. Like, where's the good? There's, God closes one door, he opens another. Out of every adversity are the seeds of equal or greater opportunity. Out of every adversity are the seeds of equal or greater opportunity. It's not terrible that what's going on. I mean, some things are, but God's going to use it somehow, and you're going to help other people, right? You're going to help them. And so just remember that. Jordan Peterson always also said this. He says, you have an obligation to be optimistic. I like that. I'll say it again. You have an obligation to be optimistic. That's so cool. Are you optimistic? Are you? Jordan Peterson also said this. He says, you need to struggle upwards to a worthwhile cause. Are you struggling upwards for a worthwhile cause? What is your cause? What are you about? Where are you going to leave your mark on humanity? Are you an agent of change? Are you a change agent? Do you raise the temperature of the room when you enter it? Or do you suck the life out of it, like a whirlpool, right? Are you a globetrotter? Are you a history maker? Are you a history? Are you going to make history? How do you do stuff like that? Love, give, be a beacon of hope, even when you don't feel like it. Okay, I got this written down. I took notes in here, and he said, what you do in the dark will be rewarded in the light. What you do in private will be rewarded in public. I love that. I love that. So it's so funny. I'm just remembering these things. When I go to the notes, they're not there. I don't know. I must have put the thing in the wrong spot. But Jordan Peterson also said this. He says, all of our heroes are just flawed characters. Bend it like Beckham, David Beckham, he's just a guy. Michael Jordan's just a guy. Venus Williams is just a gal. Mother Teresa is an incredible woman who just loved people. She's got her idiosyncrasies, things that probably bug her, right? I mean, how many of you, nothing bugs you? For me, it's the way the toilet paper's on. If it goes under, I don't like that. When it goes over like a waterfall, it's like, come on, man, you got to put the toilet paper on, or you got to open the lights. Like I was talking to David Palma in my office. One of the blinds was wide open. The other one was shut, but kind of, they got to match. I have little idiosyncrasies. We're just all flawed characters in the end. So that's why you don't want to put people on a pedestal. Everybody's just trying to get through this life and love and do the best they can. And when you screw up, own it. When you mess up, say, I'm sorry. So I missed an appointment last Friday with Jason. And who's Jason? It doesn't matter. But when I saw him again today and we reconnected, I said, buddy, I just want to know, I apologize. I really blew that. And I'm from the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry. And I was flying from Charlotte through into Denver, then catching a car and renting a car and grabbing luggage and 2-hour drive up here in the Breckenridge. And I'm just spaced at it. I missed an appointment, but I apologize from the bottom of my heart. So when you blow it, own it. It's not that you'll never make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. Just own it. I love this one. Write this down, because some of you are in a desert right now. Some of you are in the wilderness. You're like, I just can't even see my way through this. Ready? Every desert can bloom. Come on, Kevin Mall. That's a good one. I like Kevin. He's walking around in his office. He's thinking. He's listening. Good to see you, buddy. Every desert can bloom. Jeff Russell from Newport Beach. And so you have moments in your life. We all go through them. There's nobody where you're just on the mountaintop and it's ecstasy all the time. Look at his view. What is it? The fields are alive with the sound of music, right? From the sound of music. It's just like this Shangri-La moment. We all have other moments. We all struggle. And so it's okay. But every desert can bloom and will bloom. You just got to keep believing. I love this one. The path of existence that is adventurous means that you will dance on the edge from time to time. If you want to live a life of adventure, you're going to have to dance on the edge once in a while. It means talking to someone when you're not comfortable about listing their $20 million house, their $40 million house. Justin in St. Augustine listed a home for $19 million. That's a big listing. And then he found the buyer and he double-ended it. $38 million in one shot. That's enough to cap every year for 20 years. And why not you? And here's why not, because you don't believe it can be you. And so it absolutely, we're not splitting atoms or launching satellites into the sky or creating nuclear fusion, guys. We're helping buyers buy, sellers sell, and we're attracting agents. We're convincing Bob to leave Century 21 and to join EXP. You know what? Bob will leave Century 21 or Jill will leave Berkshire Hathaway because Bob knows that you love him. Jill knows that you love her. I'm not talking about romantic love. I mean, that you genuinely care for them and you've been able to convey that from the heart. And again, they'll go, man, I don't know what it is about Matthew Mall, but I love that guy. I don't know what it is about Kathy Dowd, but every time I get around her, I feel better. And they want to go where you're going and they want to be where you are because you're that guiding light. You're that beacon of hope, Jeff Russell. You're a beacon of hope. And you listen. Let's see if I can find this. He said, listen, seek first to understand, then to be understood. Again, that comes from Jim Quick. And I'll say it again, seek first to understand, then to be understood. You know what's funny? I was talking to another agents today, and they go, I just got the phone with so-and-so, and they were so ticked. I mean, they were cool, but they're like, man, that was a frustrating call. Why? Because this particular agent kept cutting them off because I couldn't even share every time I'd like to share my point of view. They would cut me off. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. There's an old saying. What is it? In other words, you want to get the story first before you rush to judgment, right? I forget. I don't quite have that one right. Does anyone know what that one is? It's you want to understand what's going on before you pass judgment. Like ask a lot of questions. Make sure you get a lot of clarity on what's going on. And people will love you. Your clients will love you. Other agents you're trying to recruit to EXP will love you when you really get to know them. And that old saying that sounds silly sometimes, it's like, oh God, we've heard that before, but it is so true. In other words, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Well, I've heard that one before. We all got to be reminded of it, you guys. People, that's how you get listings. That's how you put buyers in contract. That's how you convince agents to leave brokerages and join you. And when they know you care, you go, look, I'll promise you right now, I'm going to help you more than your sales manager at Remax. I'm going to help you more than your broker at Berkshire Hathaway or at Coldwell Banker. I'm just threatening you right now. I'm going to become more valuable to you than your manager at Compass. Watch. And then you just turn on the love. You send them books. You send them inspirational things that you've heard. You help them with any way. Like, I don't know much about listings. Well, maybe like we have a woman who just joined EXP and she listed 100 homes in the past 12 months. Who's that? She'll be speaking for me. Don't worry. You'll get to know her. But like, oh, you got to hear this. It's 30 minutes long. This woman just listed 100 homes in the last 12 months. Facts tell, stories tell. Tell the stories. They don't have to be yours. I can help you with listings. Here, listen to this. You may need to listen to it yourself and apply it, but it doesn't matter. They're like, oh my gosh, Jeff, thank you so much. Matthew, thank you so much. Kathy, thank you so much. Right? I mean, this is how it goes. You know, LJ, thank you so much. That was so helpful. And you just keep pouring on the love. And it's not just because you want to become EXP. It's because you are a giver. In life, there are givers and there are takers. And you, my friend, want to be a giver. Write this one down. Make sure you dream so big that it creates rooms for others and demands that you help them. That's a BG quote. That's my baby. Make sure that you dream so big that it creates room for others and demands that you help them. And what's it all about in the end? It's about one simple thought. You got promises to keep. People ask me, why do I work hard? I work really hard with passion and fire, 20 to 30 hours a week. I don't think that's that much. I know what it's like to work 60, 70, 80 hours a week. I know what it's like to work 6 and 7 days a week. I know what it's like to get up at 7 or 8 in the morning and go till not 7 or 8 at night, go till 1 or 2 in the morning when you fall asleep at the office and you wake up at Remax at your desk at 1:20 a.m. You're like, man, I got to go home. I can't tell you how many times I've fallen asleep at my office on a Friday night. And so, you know what? You got promises to keep. You're going to help other people. It keeps me going. I have no intentions. People are like, why don't you just retire and check out? I go, I'd be bored. How many rounds of golf can you play? How much pleasure? And you only cut a steak so thick. You know what's meaningful is when you've helped change somebody else's life. When you're giving them a hand up, and sometimes you give a hand out. You know, you give to people who are really in need, and other people just need a hand out. Man, they just need a break. But you gotta want it. You gotta want it. Fire in the belly, desire. The 3 Ds: desire, dedication, and determination. The 3 Ds: desire, dedication, determination. The 3 Ds. Do you have the desire? Are you dedicated? And are you determined? Apply those things to your life. It'll be awesome. Okay, our next speaker, I'm not sure if Verl's here because of the way this is set up on my wife's computer. I can't see Verl. Is Verl Workman in the house? He's on in about 1 minute. And because I'm on Kathy's computer, I don't get a host look. So, is anyone?
I missed number 1. What is number 1?
The first thing I said?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you were taking notes. The right people in the room can change the world. The right people in the room. By the way, I have friends who I used to pull together 40 years ago, and they're with me at EXP. And some of them weren't even in real estate, but I convinced them to get their real estate license. But we formed a bond. And you think, well, I don't have that. I'm 40 years old. Do it now. When's the best time to plant a tree? 40 years ago. What's the next best time? Today. You know, Colonel Sanders started his empire in his 60s, like 65, 67. Ray Kroc started McDonald's at 55. Oh, there's Burl. There's Burl. We're letting Burl in right now. So, boom, he's here. So what we're going to do right now is we have Mastering Sales with Verl Workman. We're going to switch gears. And he's one of the top trainers in America. You'd be a fool not to watch this and take notes. He's going to go for the next 20 minutes. He's going to give you fire. And then you want to teach what you learn. And then it's like chiseling it in stone. In fact, I'll end with this and give it to Verl. It goes like this. When I went to college at Chico State in the 80s, it was voted the #1 party school in America. It's exactly why I chose it. But chiseled in stone above the science wing of the university, it said this, chiseled in stone, and it was profound, and I never forgot it. It said, today decides tomorrow. Because I will do today what others will not do, so that tomorrow I'll live the way others will never live. It applies to fitness. It applies to faith. It applies to your family. And it certainly applies to business, finance.